Next soul, please. If you please, step lively. Thank you. Those who try to cut the line or shove others will get sent to the back of the line. Or downstairs. Patience is a virtue. Yes. Hello. Welcome to the gates of heaven. Name, if you would. I see. You have your death certificate and CV report that was given to you when you arrived. Perfect. Despite us telling you all how important it is, there are still some of you that lose this. It looks like you've been here before in your past lives. About 10 of them, counting this one. Oh my, your death was quite... Well, it must have been very painful. Are you carrying any residual trauma from such a gruesome demise? Any at all? I can have one of my attendants remove it straight away. No. Very good. It would pain me to think that you are suffering so. But back to the matter at hand. Let's evaluate your lives and check your CV score, shall we? Your CV, meaning your charity value, of course. This determines the amount of virtue you've accrued throughout your lives as a mortal on Earth. It also counts your sins, which I'm afraid will negate the virtues you've done, just as the virtue will make up for the past sins. Perhaps we can start with your most recently lived life. It seems as if you've had every advantage a human can have on Earth, at least at the start. You're quite lucky. Well, a good home. Can you explain this gap in your faith? Yes, right here in the middle. It seems like you had plenty of belief in us in the beginning, and then here is where it's just not there. And yet, here at the end, it comes back. Seeing an angel in person tends to do that for most. I see. Well, let's take a look at another one of your lives, shall we? You did accumulate some virtue in about equal measures, overall with your sin, but not terribly so. Perhaps another life will shine more of a light on your soul. Oh, this is interesting. Your fourth life was very exemplary. It looks very good for your CV. Perhaps this interview will be short. We'll have to go through all the virtues one by one. Would you like to have a seat? Moving on. So, there's our heavenly virtues. But few mortals really manage to exhibit so many so well. I'm very impressed. These three, which I would argue aren't too hard really, are faith, hope, and charity. Often go hand in hand, don't you think? At least they did for you here. It seems earlier in your life your mother and father put you in a convent so they could sell your younger sibling into marriage. Such were the ways of that human era. But don't think we won't be judging that. We will. But back to yourself. It was there, through your struggles, you really exuded the best of your character. Oh, not because of your profession, we'll call it. Simply that you were capable of being this person, and so you were. Each one of you is capable of anything. Such is the wondrous gift you are given. Isn't that nice? It would be nice if we angels were given the same such freedoms. Then I wouldn't have to wait so very long for my break. The saints are always late. I forgive them, of course, each and every time. Well, to continue, you did very well to exemplify these in your old age in that same lifetime as well. Humans have such a short lifetime, don't they? Of course, we've found that if they live any longer than 100 years or so, then the damage to the planet they live on becomes just a little too catastrophic. Shorter really is best. Though you may disagree. It really isn't up to you. That aside, you also exhibited wonderful temperance. That is some self-restraint, to put it simply. And prudence. The ability to govern yourself within reason. Such a thing feels in short supply at times. But then I see so many of you. It isn't such a low number over all the millennia. And then you fell down some stairs and hit your head. Such was the end of your best lifespan. So, on to, let's say, life number. I'm afraid we don't have the time to get into the minor things, such as your family and love life. They aren't all that relevant for this. Well, technically, we do have the time. All of eternity. But there are other souls waiting in line behind you, and my lunch break is coming up, so we really must be moving on. My replacement may be late, but I never am. Punctuality really should be a virtue in itself. But my suggestion has been rejected repeatedly. The rest of your lives seem rather mundane in comparison, though that isn't entirely a bad thing in this case. It could mean that you'd be a good fit for our team. Perhaps you could even start off as a cherub. That would be nice for you. In your sixth life, you displayed wonderful justice. But then, in your eighth life, you seem to have made it your life's goal to revel in lust and gluttony. I don't think I need to get into the sins and their definitions, do I? No, I didn't think so. Of course, you mortals know all about those. There's just enough virtue in your very first life that it shouldn't be all that damaging. Oh. Oh my. Your second life. I'm afraid that negates a lot of the good work you've done. No, I don't want to go into detail about that. Oh dear. No, certainly not. We'll just move along. Well, the amount of sin in that second lifetime certainly removes the amount of virtue from your fourth life. How unfortunate. Sorry, at this current moment, I just can't see you being a good fit within our team. You're welcome to apply again in about 100 years, though, as I quite like your CV. Part of it, anyway. Let's make a quick tally to see if I have to send you downstairs. 1, 2, 608, 7. Oh, but then it's all a total wash. So, oh my, you're at a complete 0. This so rarely happens. I'm not so sure it would really be worth it to send you back. Why don't you try applying down below anyway? And see if they'll have you. Now, it's really not all that bad. Or so I hear. Perhaps they'll even let you off with a little bit of penance. Yes, move along, and don't forget to take this with you. They will need to have a look at your CV as well. You mortals are really all so forgetful sometimes. Next soul, please. If you would, just step forward quickly. Thank you. No shoving. I see all. Back of the line with you.